Good evening and thank you for joining us. Today is the third annual National Day for Truth and Reconciliation in Canada. The event was being observed across the country and in the city of Thunder Bay to learn from the impact of the residential school system and to remember the children that were lost. This morning began with an Orange Shirt Day gathering at Hillcrest Park. Mike Lang was there.
Hey, 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 hey.
It was a morning of truth through sharing.
215 kids missing, our missing relatives, our missing brothers, sisters.
And reconciliation through learning.
We weren't allowed to share our true history. We weren't allowed to practice our culture.
Around 100 gathered at Hillcrest Park as a new sitting area was opened to provide the community with a place to commemorate and honor the survivors of the residential school system and to acknowledge the thousands of children who never made it home.
It's very traumatic for our families still today. We're wounded today. We're trying to rebuild, trying to get well from that trauma.
But the trauma over those that were lost created resiliency among those who survived.
They didn't realize that the Anishinaabe people were actually seeds. So when those seeds were buried, and eventually we sprouted and became those wildflowers, and we became being very resilient.
The gathering was attended by local community leaders, councillors, and politicians, including Indigenous Services Minister and MP Patty Haidu.
This is, I think, the work of dismantling that heavy colonial system that basically tore away those rights and then established a pattern of control over First Nations lives.
The final and most important step of truth and reconciliation: action.
It is about supporting the leadership of Indigenous peoples to reclaim their own identities, their culture, their language, and their law.
It's very fresh yet. We still got a lot of work to do together, and we're willing to work with the dominant group together to come to terms to understanding what really happened.
The morning was capped off by a raising of the survivors' flag. It sails at half-mast as an expression of remembrance and honor for those impacted by residential schools in Canada. Mike Lang, TBT News.